Okay, so hello everyone, this is PsycheWolf11 here, and today we are doing the finale of Case 3. So we're finishing up the trial because I cut it halfway yesterday, and we're going to do the rest of it today. And yeah, it's broken up into two parts, so it kind of worked out, but yeah, we're going to finish that today. Very excited. My throat isn't doing amazing today. I wasn't feeling well earlier, but I'm still gonna stream, so who cares? Apollo, I can't believe it! It really happened during the second act. And right in front of them. Oh god, and right in the middle of Lamoire's performance. The reason why she was in that air vent, and that switch and the flaming guitar, when you link it all together, that's what you end up with. I knew you had what it took. Who's saying that? We don't know. Oh, it's Phoenix. We haven't seen him this whole case. Where has you been? Ah, Daddy! Tell me about it. Mr. Wright, you believed in me? Not really. Huh? I just thought that make a call entrance and saying hiya. Why do I even bother hoping? Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to my office at all. The office? I mean, is it not Trucy's office? Ah, sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission. Secret? You mean like you're undercover? Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed. Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy? Haha, would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a little while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Muchie to buy you off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darian Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based upon one fragile assumption. Namely, that our diva divine is telling the truth. But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch? A piece of jewellery and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case. But if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Skye? Emma? Let's see, this bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, here it is. What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material. They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder. I think I always slip up on the word analysis. I don't know why. Gunpowder? Probably a firecracker or something similar like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa? Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy! Right, this. Well, finally some evidence that makes sense. That's all from me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off. And he walked out the door just like a magician, normally. What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean? I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Court is now in session. Back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent? in the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darian was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Have full head. Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescent. How do you know it's the final... I mean, yeah, I guess it is the final witness. Name... Oh, shit. Have you sounded like that? Name and occupation, please. Darian Crescent, Detective Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners, maybe you heard of us? Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Darian. And don't call me partner. So much for old friends. I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial... Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lanoir's testimony. If, in fact, you have anything to say about it. Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Virginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha! Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing. I thought it was going to say, here comes justice! Here go, bracelet! The diva's lying. Plain and simple, she got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never even heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots, as if. Didn't Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man. Goddamn. So you claim Lanoir's testimony was bullshit. Hey, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the coordinating vague statements out of her just because she's blind. You go too far, Darian. Look, all I'm saying is you got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Skye, I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination. You didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lanoir's testimony alone. I have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. Right. Diva's lying, plain and simple. In the first place, she never even heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots, as if. Didn't Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? Actually, I was there too. So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots. Yes. We heard gunshots. Oh shit. That is not how I should have said that. We heard gunshots. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you. I guess you and Lanoir got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during that third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots. Mochi heard them too. Remember he said he ran for the air duct when he heard them? So, how do we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were? Shooting took place on stage. That could have been what the shooter wanted us to think. I'll tell you what the shooter, that kid, wants you to think. He wants you to think the diva heard me in that room. Back to relying on Lanoir's testimony. As much as I am enjoying the Darian and Forehead show, there is no need for such tempers. Don't make us into some kind of comedy duo. Does this mean the Gavin and Darian show's cancelled? Neither of you are claims that can be proven or disproved. We could argue for days like this and get nowhere. Prosecutor Gavin is quite right. This court will hold no further discussion on this topic without new facts. New facts, huh? He's pretty eager to paint Lanoir as a liar, isn't he? Yeah, because her testimony is basically our entire case. This is tough. So what do we do? I've got a few ideas. I just need to find another way to prove it didn't happen when he says it did. What does he mean by he... You never talked to her even though you were playing in the same concert? Not a word, as far as I can recall. But weren't they planning sessions or something? Gavin took care of all of that himself. Darian wasn't involved in any of the meetings with her. Ugh. As if you can just go around remembering everyone's voices like that anyway. Only an idiot would believe that. Lanoir's hearing is very sensitive. She could remember him if she heard him, I'm sure of it. I just can't prove it. And I need proof. She put the words. I'll probably listen. We know she missed the words. The mixing board proved it. Oh yeah, there was a mistake. But blaming it on gunshots is just a lame excuse. What do you mean? The mixing board proves what? It proves there was a mistake in the song, a miscue. So, she flubbed it up big time, that's all. She spins a story about a gunshot to protect the kid and cover for her own goof. Man, I'd have to hand it to her if she wasn't sticking it to me at the same time. Darian, watch what you say. Lanoir is an artist. She just flubbed it up. That's no small accusation for a performer of her caliber. She got to you all right. I can see it in your eyes. I tell you, most of her stuff is so pretentious it's way over my head. I'm detecting a rift in the governor's ranks. Anyway, she's too close to the defendant. Her testimony can't be trusted. You ask me, I'd go Detective Sky's story at the drop of a pick. What else haven't I pressed? The first one. You don't have any proof she was lying. Oh yeah, kid? You saying I lied? No, I'm just saying, Apollo, glare back at him. I couldn't help it, I flinched my reflex. By reflex. Detective Crescent. Yeah, what do you want? Nothing. Apollo, chin up, back straight, you're wilting. This guy's hard as nails, he makes Wocky look downright cooperative. Look, there's no way that Diva remembers my voice. Damn, I guess I just have to present something.
Objection!
Oh, okay. Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's the remote triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope? Traces of a gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. Eh? How did Gavin know about this? What, you think Detective Sky works for you? I received a report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial. Just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could not have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. Haha! You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So, you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off? Right when two witnesses came walking by? Ha! That's right! Darian was out on the stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know when someone was backstage right then? If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear, you get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? How do I explain this? He may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I happened to pass through that very hallway several times that day myself. And I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset, the kind of all of the band and staff members were wearing. That's right. I tried to examine that like 100 times. We picked this up in front of the dressing room to the the door to the dressing room. What if that headset wasn't drugged but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in the hallway, even if you were out on stage. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in the Carter law. Which is why I now turn to you, Herr Forehead. I've got a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime? It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix and you can fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake, we can't say. You raised the possibility that the gunshots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. That's right, Gavin? Indeed, if you can't prove that. Then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think. You better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven. You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. Let's continue the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness your testimony if you would. This isn't going to be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. You ready, kid? Because I am. The shooting took place during the second set. If you're so sure, let's see your proof. What is the proof? I'm trying to think. Good question, guy. So the second set was Lanoir's song. So should I present the video? Objection! Maybe not. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow you. It clearly contradicts the I thought. You don't sound very sure, Mr. Justice. Objection overruled. I don't think that won me any points as the judge. Yeah, that was wrong. Isn't it? I can't remember, y'all. I feel like it's the mixing board. Objection! I was gonna present the mixing board before, damn it. I lost the point, no! It seems there were clear... It seems there were... Oh my god, why can't I read this simple sentence? It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lanoir's song. A song? What exactly is this, device thingy? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps? Come on, we just used this, and don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sides to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lanoir's voice included. Oh, but what does this prove? According to Lanoir's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at that moment, ja? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Darian? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We were all deeply involved in our performance, but Lanoir's headsets would have picked up what she heard all the same time. All the same. Me just adding casual words.
Then let's go analysing that recording. Right now!
Lanoir stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots. Hello? Oh. Oh, which one? What? Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is a track with Lanoir's vocals.
I did hear something faintly there, yes. Why, it sounded like a gunshot.
What? There has to be some kind of mistake. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lanoir's testimony was true.
Grr. Order! So, she was telling the truth about what she heard.
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
Well, what did he say?
It's over, press the switch, now. Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it.
But why did we only hear one gunshot from the recording? Weren't two bullets fired from this weapon?
Lanoir was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must have not been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent? Once again I am reminded of something. Our performance that day.
Your performance?
Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Herr Forehead. What is it with today? Problem after problem at home. My hog won't start, my guitar case is busted, my guitar's been burned to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part's off. Which is that? Second guitar. Ah! It was you, Darian. I thought it was strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you, I know how you play. You're better than that.
Yeah, well, You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at?
I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latouche's .45 caliber hand cannon. As we've learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder, if you're an amateur. Wait, you mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver?
Ha! You're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent?
I'm a trained police officer. You know, I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearms issued to police officers is a .48 caliber weapon. A much tamer beast, oh my god. much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim instead of Toos, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim.
So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean?
The thought had occurred to me, yes.
Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent!
What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeve rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey, you, attorney. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on the tape? That could be anything. You have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a .45 caliber kickback? I wait for this case, Gavin, I really do. You can line up your little weak evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth.
The witness has a point. The defence's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in the response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Mr. Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it.
Isn't he gonna say the same shit that he was on stage? Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy, I got no motive, man. This was the diva's first trip to the country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him?
Simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is this the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before?
According to our records, yes, not even once.
I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination.
Great, now I gotta find a motive. That was easy. Your Honor, take a look at this.
What's that? Looks like candy.
If not, don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings.
A cocoon? Never seen one that colour.
It is a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. Nowhere else.
Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely it has nothing to do with a motive for killing Mr. Latouche, does it?
It does. Wait, I think it does. You don't sound too confident, man.
A cocoon? Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, silk out of?
Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative.
A curative? For what?
Apparently it is the most efficacious... Oh, what is that word? Efficacious? Apparently it's the most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Virginia.
Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy for the cocoon. Yet, if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact.
What?
There was an incident several years ago where somebody's got out into the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware.
Intriguing.
All this had led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export, one rigidly enforced by Interpol among others.
Interpol?
Right! The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager, he was killed as an undercover agent.
So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country. That what you're trying to say?
I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder.
So I was going to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny. Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable.
Unthinkable, you say? Why?
Perhaps it's time for another testimony about the smuggling of cocoons business.
International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons.
Interpol's all hot and bothered about them.
Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal.
Indeed. Interpol wanted these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover.
You kids think I'm up the craziest things. But no way am I going to risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money.
Not the most noble statements, but duly noted.
According to the reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Sending them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well, you may begin the cross-examination.
This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Oh, why am I reading it again? Okay. Interpol's hot burn, can't sell them on the back market, too dangerous. Cocoons money ain't that lucrative anymore. It's the newspaper. Okay. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would.
How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous.
The second they found out I was cut, I could kiss my keys to goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this?
That article, that's about the Chief Justice's.
A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis.
Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere.
You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning.
Aha! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying.
Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice.
You are saying the Chief Justice would never deal in contraband.
Not even to save his own son's life?
But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal.
That's Detective Crescen's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice.
Detective Crescent, is this true?
First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me, man? Anyway.
Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller.
Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well... Oh yeah, and you're forgetting another important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Virginian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out.
So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination.
I swear I remember something about somebody not getting checked. I don't know what the evidence for it is, though. Oh wait, the guitar. Okay. I was worried that was wrong for a second. Actually, there is a one way.
What?
One way to get something out of the country, no checks.
What is it?
You become a prosecutor.
A prosecutor?
I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday about at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamoire. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it. So this guitar's from Virginia? That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamoire's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to the office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, Forehead. I don't remember this. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, I don't know why I said that. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this in fact. An igniter? Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if the igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached inside your guitar? You mean... He means this, of course. There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than to someone with access, like a member of the band? Yarr! York? Order! Show the igniter! Was placed there in there for a reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Oh, a precaution? Her forehead. At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lamoire's ballad, if you please. Apollo's a little baddie. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar's case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would have raised too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. I think that's what he said. Yeah. Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was on something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon was confiscated, then the gig would be up. The only thing left was for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch now. The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then Mr. Latouche died, with Lamoire there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective question? I don't know. You make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Darian. The Republic of Virginia? Starman, I ain't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha! Let's see you make up a story for that kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help, a Virginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamoire heard proves it. It's over, press the switch now. You made this transmission from backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage.
But who was it?
This is it, the coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him.
Let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then. But be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalised. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice?
It was our favourite Machi. There is only one person who meets all the requirements of the accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Machi Tabaye.
But Mr. Justice, your client.
The defense attorney choosing his client, that's a new one. I assure you, no one is more unhappy about this than I. But I am here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche, and I stand by my statement earlier that he is innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed, the defendant is Virginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was in fact Namwa?
It couldn't have been.
Well, you seem sure of yourself.
The reason is electronic signals, Your Honour.
Electronic signals?
Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless.
Yes, that's true.
Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamwa was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote could reach from the air vent.
Well, looking at this, it seems that Lamar still could have done the deed.
No. When the shooter made that transmission, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar's serenade. Part of the stage was raised. Prosecutor Gavin and the Lamois stand-in were in the air. They were on a tower which happens to be 15 feet tall. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamois' position in the air vent.
Ah.
Well, Detective Crescent, what do you say to that? Your Honour.
Yes, Detective?
Can we see a video where Gavin Guitars burns? Just one more time?
Well, I don't see why not.
Hello, anyone who just popped in, feel free to say hello. What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this.
You bastard. What have you done?
Too bad, so sad, punk. Punk? First you was Leaves, then Kid, now Punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo.
What exactly were we supposed to see in this video?
The problem isn't what we see, correct, Darian?
Right.
It's what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, Punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I ordered the wheat penis to set off the igniter? That right? Yes. Well, in order to do that, we'd have to press a switch. Am I right? Okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? The piano doesn't fuck up, so he cannot have used his hands to press the switch, is what he's saying.
What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine.
And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Yeah, how's he supposed to hit the switch if he's playing? You've got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with her hands free was a diva.
Lamois.
But according to you, she couldn't have been the accomplice, could she?
Your accomplice would have had a hard time helping out if they couldn't even press a switch.
I kind of wish this bit was voice acted. I'd rather hear her sing than the weird noise that it makes. The piano plays non-stop. Correct. It does. He couldn't have pressed that switch.
Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire.
Oh, well, it's okay. We all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, what's wrong? Oh, well, you're wrong. I can't be wrong. I'm never wrong. Everything makes perfect sense. How could it all just... Strange. What's strange? No, it's just that something's odd about the performance there. Odd?
Mr. Justice, if Machi Tabaya didn't press that switch, then he could not be the accomplice you claim he is.
But everything points to it. Every fact he says he's a... Wow. Every fact says he's the accomplice.
You got the facts wrong, man.
Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the penis didn't press that switch. In other words, the story's full of holes.
Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter now. Was the defendant Machi Tabaya the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Monkey's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined.
I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch.
Well, you better find a way to prove it.
What do I do? What do I do?
There has to be something that doesn't fit.
Something odd. Something odd? Wait a second.
What? You thought of something?
What was Gavin saying just now? He forgot that so quick. Not the flashback. He just said it. No. They seriously flashback in. This was like 5 lines ago. That is too much. It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got. What exactly did he hear that was odd?
Have you come up with something, Mr. Justice? May I remind you that everything rests on this. Can you prove Machi Tabaya pressed that switch? Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Machi Tabaya pressed the switch?
I can, I think. I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible. Then, as prosecutor, it falls to me to ask you to show us some evidence supporting this. Hair forehead, you're sure about this? Ha! Accept it. There's no evidence, man.
Let's see your evidence, Mr. Justice. On what do you base your claim that the defendant pressed the switch?
Wasn't there something odd about the piano? Oh, I don't know what to do. Maybe I should listen to them. Is it the mixing board? Did I miss something? Oh lord, I'm pretty sure it's that. The basis for my claim is music, Your Honor.
Music? What about music?
Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the switch was to be pressed. I just did, and I didn't say anything. I think I heard like a little bit of a twang, but I'm not sure. Right before the guitar burst into flame. Like, if I could see it along with the video, that would help. Oh, well, look at that. I can't hear you, turn it up.
I hear a piano being played.
But doesn't it sound kind of simple? Simple? Oh, right. Ah, I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Mudgy could have played that part with one hand?
One hand?
He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other.
Ha! What, so you're some kind of piano savant?
Actually, no.
Then what do you know?
You can't play a part like that with one hand. Ugh. Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Oh shit, that's not Trucy. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy. Yeah, you got something? Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he... Oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had free hands. So sorry, so sad for you. No, not really. Huh? That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you going to prove whether he played it with one hand or two? You can't. I admit it will be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand.
How do you know that?
The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounded odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of that song.
No way! Well, she's come to the moment of truth at last. Let's hear what Mr. Duchess has to say for himself. Show us a part that proves that the defendant was playing with one hand, right before the guitar burst into flame.
Mudgy was definitely playing one-handed just before the guitar caught fire, and one section of the song proves it. Oh my god. Let me listen to it again. Oh, I don't know, I think it's that bit.
That's the section?
I'm afraid I don't hear it, neither do I, to be fair.
Oh, what's your opinion of the artist?
It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics are astounding.
I'll take that to mean there isn't a problem with this section at all.
Wait, so what was the odd thing that Gavin heard? The switch was pressed in the first half of the second verse, right? I know, I just need to find a place to compare it to that. The first half of the second verse. Isn't no... Your Honor, if you give me one more chance, I think I can find it.
I suppose we don't have a choice. Very well. You claim the defendant was playing with one hand when the switch was pressed. Show us the part that proves it.
The first... I don't remember what I presented. Oh, I've done it wrong again. Oh, I can't hear it though. Is it this bit? Oh, okay. Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realised by now just what it is, what that sounded odd to you. As I'm sure you realise it yourself, Hair Forehead. No.
Realise what?
I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the but a fleeting melody phrase. Well, it's easier to do it with the video watching, so I know... Ugh. Man. How many times do we have to listen to the same thing? You're right, enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we?
Another section?
The guitar bursts into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the verse. Pay attention to Oh That Night in Your Embrace. Yeah, it goes up and down, like the low notes and the high notes. I thought it would be that, because you need your left hand for the lower notes and you need your right hand for the high notes.
Play verse 2 again.
Hello, anyone who just joined, feel free to say hello. Yeah, did you hear that? No, I wasn't paying attention actually.
They feel the same too, but they're clearly very different.
I'm pretty sure he didn't place the high notes.
What?
Well put, Your Honour. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. I was saying that, guys. Don't pretend I didn't know it, because I was saying it. You'd have to use two hands to play that for sure.
What's that prove?
I would think you'd know by that by now.
This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man.
So, the two verses have different arrangement. It happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him placed specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. That was what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Now ask yourselves why Mushy changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed free hands in order to press a switch.
Nork. Order! I believe this all ties the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, quite. Though personally, this comes as a terrible disappointment. What, no comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up.
Very well, barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter.
Good show, Sleeves.
No, great show.
It's not over. I don't like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed in you, Hair Forehead. Huh?
Me?
Yes, don't get me wrong, your case is solid. The facts all check out, but even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts. Anyone can see it was him.
Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it.
But...
1,000 facts might point towards the same conclusion, but without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system.
I don't believe it.
It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present.
Oh, I think if he did, we would have already seen it a long ways back.
It is unfortunate, But at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation.
What? What? Oh my god! The truth is staring us all right in the face! Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals?
Apollo, remember what Daddy said?
It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current legal system, court system. So what do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Darien Crescent's igniter and set it off.
I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter.
Igniter? I think he just meant a weak spot, no? The kind of thing that a single spark could turn into a wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in this guy. Something fatal. So can I get back to work now or what? It may look like I've got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to pretend with the dead weight attorney.
Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go.
Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Ah, yes, good guitars are kept dry is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark could cause irreparable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too, Detective. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, he'll be out of your hands for good. Go for it, Apollo! What, and this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better, I'm rather fond of poetry. And I intend to hear this one through to the very end.
Yeah.
Here, Forehead. You're accusing this man of Darien Crescent of 2 crimes. The murder of Mr. Latouche and the smuggling of a Virginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. Let's try and prove it, guys.
The trial has already run on for far too long. Mr. Justice, which will be my last warning. The moment this igniter of yours turns out to be a dud is the moment this cross-examination ends. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darien Crescent.
Okay, this is really my last chance. The key that will take apart Darien Crescent's plan is... I can't remember what it was. Let's see. Call a witness or present evidence. Let me quickly check the evidence. I'm pretty sure it's the newspaper. Let's see. Maybe it's Lamour. Because he cut a killer. Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is... It is true that I couldn't show decisive evidence, but perhaps what I needed to prove my case is something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darien Crescent's guilt?
Wait, isn't it Machi? The one person who can prove Darien Crescent's guilt is the defendant, Machi Tabaye.
Your client, again?
Machi Tabaye was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darien Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle the cocoon is the real criminal in this case.
How so?
It required just one of these very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would no doubt also find inside the burnt out guitar.
Aha, very scientific of you.
Thus, if Machi Tabaye acknowledges his agreement with Darien Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of a Virginian cocoon, the case is solved.
Darien's laughing again.
Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything. Especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling.
What's this all about?
Taking a cocoon out of the country means death. By Virginian law.
Ah,
Yeah, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking. But you're wrong, Detective Crescent.
What?
It's the other way around. If Mushy doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Mushy admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. Ah! The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Virginia. And they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today, including the part about the Virginian cocoon.
Yeah, but...
But if Machi doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Virginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger in our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here, not now.
Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me.
Maybe the law doesn't allow it. But who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Machi Tabaye.
Ah!
The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan? Machi Tabaye knows everything. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you up someplace. Hit a mansion, real nice. You want a house made of cookies? Well, no, a house made of pianos. Come on. Please. Don't talk! Darian, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession? Uh-oh, he's laughing again. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though.
Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
yes.
And you'll talk? You'll tell the court everything?
I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all about all for your benefit, you know. I see no reason why you should hesitate now.
I knew from beginning, I knew.
Machi,
Situation I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money.
Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in the court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However,
it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard.
should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Machi Tabaye,
Yes?
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latude, this court is prepared to announce a verdict.
Huh.
I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Machi Tabaye, not guilty.
Hooray!
Slay, bestie.
Court is adjourned.
Hooray, we did it, guys. That slimy prick. We got him. We got a boy.
I wonder what will happen to Mochi.
Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well.
Daddy! I owe you both my thanks.
Lamois?
Why, is something wrong?
I'm sorry, Mochi was your partner on stage, your friend.
Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now, I do. Yet, something got a hold of him, something evil, I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be?
I'm still sorry.
Do not be sorry. You have given me courage. Courage? I am considering an eye operation.
It was my suggestion, actually.
You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny. I've always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving.
According to the doctor, Lamois lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident?
As you know, I suffered from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I've been running from. I was scared.
You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking straight at the truth.
If the light returns to my eyes, I think I would take up painting.
Painting?
That's right! She's the landscape painter in sound, after all. I will paint the two of you, I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lamois!
I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me I need to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission.
Apollo, truly, I hope that we will meet again someday soon. You bet, me too!
Oh. And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on and on until it came to the end. Thanks to the trial, the Guitar Serenade was a huge hit. Prosecutor Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Next time you write a ballad,
have to catch the killer at the end.
The end. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me for this stream. It's probably the shortest one I've done so far, probably because I cut the last case short, because I split the trial up in two, but it was relevant at the day, and I had a really fun voicing these characters. So yeah, don't know about the next stream. Will probably be on a day I feel up to it, because I am working during the week. But if I have time when I get home, I will surely stream. And yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Psyche Wolf out.